Dangerous has been out for quite a while now, but more recently they released the Close Quarter Combat mode, which you can buy separate from the Euro Truck Space Simulator game for the same price as a pint of beer. This is important because most people that bought a VR headset are currently homeless and living outside the box that the headset came in. And as far as games under £5 that work with the VR headset go, this is probably one of the best. Now it's worth saying from the get-go, it doesn't run perfectly. It does have quite a few issues that hopefully will get sorted out in the long run. The biggest one being, because the game uses deferred rendering, it's very hard to get a super crisp image and you don't have proper anti-aliasing. At the moment, it does appear that it looks slightly better on the Oculus Rift, but with the Vive, it can be hard to read some of the smaller details. Now this is more of a problem in the full-scale game, and not so much of a problem in the this cut-down arena mode of the game, because in this you're really focusing on just taking people out and battling away. And normally, once you've got good at the game, you're not really looking at the menus, you're just using the controls to try and kill people and navigate the environment. Now it's worth saying, I'm not good at this game. This is the first time picking it up in this arena mode in this video, so excuse how terrible I'm flying. And I'm also using the Xbox controller because I wanted to see what it was like for someone that maybe doesn't have a full HOTAS and they just want to jump in and give it a go. Now it's worth saying, from the last time that I played it, it actually works really fantastic with the Xbox controller, and the controls are all mapped out and it's really simple. So you just plug your Xbox controller in, load the game up, and it's very intuitive with very obvious on-screen buttons as to what you need to do to fly. Though the controls in terms of the analog sticks are back to front to Eve Valkyrie, so that's going to confuse the hell out of a lot of people that like space sims. But if you've not played Eve Valkyrie, you'll jump into it and be fine with an Xbox controller. I also found, having played this for a couple of hours now, that the capture the flag mode seems completely dead unless you're really on at absolute peak times, and then the deathmatch and the team deathmatch modes can take a while to connect into at first, but once you're in them, you just go cycle through game to game and you're done. So that initial loading or the initial finding a game can take a while, but once you've gone through that, you're done for the rest of the evening. You can keep playing. In terms of the actual core gameplay, the flying, it's obviously been established in the larger game, but the actual mechanics seem really solid as I fly into the space station. The actual flying mechanics are really nice. I was going to say planes. The spaceships have a sort of momentum to them and a character that's a balance between arcadey and somewhat realistic-ish. There's good depth to the physics, put it that way, and there's nice depth to how you have to balance the weapon power, the system power, and your engine power. And I think mastering that, will be really tricky, and it's what keeps you coming back. You also have a level system that you can go through the game. You build up your levels, which allows you to then unlock ships and different weapons, and that's nice. It sort of gets you to come back into the game after having a session and makes you motivated to see what the other content is that you might not have tried, especially if you're coming to this for the first time having not played the main title before. Now, because there aren't that many people playing right now, there is a problem with really super experienced players getting put with new players that are just coming into it, probably people that have just got a VR headset and have seen this and are like, okay, I want to check this out. And we've had games where there'll be a level 55 player with people like myself that are level 1, 2, 3 and 4, and that level 55 player will have 300 kills and we'll have 2 because we just haven't got used to the actual mechanics of the game. Hopefully that will improve with time as more people pick this up to play with the VR headsets, or just pick up to play on a screen, because it works perfectly fine with either. And the most enjoyable way to play this game, I found, was to do the team deathmatch mode, so some of the pressure is taken off you and you don't die constantly, but also you can easily invite friends from your Steam friends list into the game and then fly with them. And it's obviously, like any game, a lot more fun to be playing with friends, and it's nice to shoot your friends and make sure they know who is in fact the better space pilot. A skill that will serve you well in life and guarantee that you don't die lonely in a basement. In terms of performance, you probably need a fairly beefy system for this. I'm playing on an i7 7600K, or I've probably got that back to front, 6700K. overclocked with a GTX 970 and have turned the graphics to sort of mid-level. Occasionally I got a little bit of stutter here and there, but for the most part it ran smooth. But I think if you're on slower systems, you're going to start getting issues. Those of you with the recommended spec for VR though should be able to get this to run perfectly fine. That said, I think with the performance, again, the developer just needs to put some patches and better support the Vive and the Rift with this game. I'm not even sure if the game's running at the full 90 FPS, because in the menu it's locked to 60 FPS, and some of the menu options didn't actually change anything in game, so it's hard to know what's going on for sure. But I would have thought over time it will only improve. In terms of comfort and motion sickness, it depends how you're flying and what you're doing. If you're looping around spaceships, then that might make some of you feel a little bit queasy. I felt it occasionally when reversing backwards around a spaceship whilst using the thrusters. That felt a little bit woozy. That didn't really bother me, but I could imagine people that are sensitive to motion sickness, that would probably do them in a little bit. The only time it really felt bad was when I accidentally flew into something and the ship just started jostling around because I was like a lunatic granny trying to do a 3-point turn in a car park, hitting into everyone and causing absolute carnage in my spaceship. Other than that, I think it was pretty comfortable, because it's one of those cockpit games where the cockpit does take up quite a bit of your field of view, so that reduces the amount of stuff moving around on the screen. All in all though, for the $4.99 Leicester Square London price of beer, you can't go wrong really. You definitely need to pick it up and just give it a go and see how it evolves and improves. Absolute worst case, you can still access the training missions with this and just feel like you're flying around in space. The sound, the graphics and the sense of being in space is incredible, and that's what this and the full game of Elite Dangerous really does. It's that environment and the feeling that you're placed in space is what it really does well. The multiplayer deathmatch is just what gets you, it's the game part of it and gets you to keep playing it rather than just getting lost in virtual reality. But thanks for watching this review, I guess you call it a review of Elite Dangerous Arena. I'll put some links in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to us, follow us on Twitch, drop any comments if you've got any questions, and I will be seeing you in the next video we do very soon. Goodbye.